Hello, my name is Chuti Abdul. I'm a TVET trainer at ESIC TVET School. I'm a teacher of mathematics. We are going to look together the chapter called Apply Fundamentals of Complex Number. Complex number is a set of couple numbers where one part is called the real part and the other one is the imaginary part. After learning this session, learners will be able to know the form of complex number, trigonometric form of complex number, and polar form of complex number. And learner will be able to solve any equation of complex numbers. And also learner will know to distinguish between real roots and complex root. I invite you to write notes and make some exercises together to make everything clear. X squared plus 4 equals 0. This question can have this form, x squared plus 0x, because 0 times x is equal to 0, plus 4, then equal to 0. The number before x squared is called a, is 1. Here there is 1. The number before x is called b, which is equal to 0. And the number which has x power 0 or which has no x is called c, is 4. We are going to talk about discriminant. Discriminant is equal to b squared minus 4 times a times c. Discriminant will be equal to 0 squared minus 4 times 1 times 4, which is equal to negative 16. Discriminant is equal to negative 16. When we reach here, the discriminant, which is negative, it means the root we shall get is the complex root, because the square root of negative number for previous classes, we know that doesn't exist. But in complex number, we are going to see how we can solve it and get the complex root. Then, in complex number, negative 1 is equal to I squared. It means discriminant of negative 16 is equal to negative 1 times 16. We know that this negative 1 is I squared. It means that discriminant is equal to 16 times I squared. When we talk about the square root of discriminant, is the square root of 16I squared. Then this discriminant in root is equal to 4I. This is the square root of the discriminant. Then x1 is equal to negative b plus square root of discriminant over 2 times a. x1 is equal to negative, b is 0, plus square root of discriminant is 4i over 2 times 1, because a is 1. Then 0 plus 4i over 2, it will be equal to 4i over 2. By simplifying, this is 2, 1. We shall get 2i. Then x2 will be equal to negative b, negative square root of discriminant over 2 times a, which will be equal to negative 0, negative square root of discriminant over 2a. We shall have also negative 2i. x1 is equal to 2i, while x2 is equal to negative 2i. These x1 and x2 are called the complex root. Complex roots. We have calculated x squared plus 4, which is equal to 0. We have get that x1 is equal to 2i, x2 is equal to negative 2i. It means that these are called complex roots. So we are going to talk about the properties of complex numbers. Properties of complex numbers. Before talking about the properties of complex number, the form of a complex number is Z, which is equal to A plus IB. This means what? Means that A is a real part, while B is an imaginary part. Properties of complex number. Let's start on addition of complex number. Addition of complex numbers. Addition of complex numbers. Let's have Z1, which is equal to 5 plus 4i, and Z2, which is equal to 2 minus I. You are asked to add Z1 plus Z2. You shall have 5 plus 4i plus 2 minus I. This will be equal 5. Here we can add the real parts and we add the imaginary parts. It means it is 5 plus 2 here, and then we shall have plus 4i minus I. The answer will be equal to 7 plus 3i. The real part is 7, imaginary part is 3. Example number 2. You are given Z1, which is equal to 1 plus I, and Z2, which is equal to I. Find Z1 plus Z2. Solution: Z1 plus Z2 will be equal to 1 plus I plus I will be equal to 1 plus I plus I. The answer will be equal to 1 plus 2I. Z1 plus Z2 is equal to 1 plus 2I. 1 is a real part. Real part is 1, and imaginary part is equal to 2. We have already seen how we can add the complex numbers. Then we are going to see how we can multiply complex numbers. Multiplication of complex number. Z1 is equal to 4 negative I, and Z2 is equal to 1 minus I. You are asked or find Z1 times Z2. Z1 times Z2 will be equal to 4 minus I times 1 minus I. 4 times 1 will be equal to 4. Then 4 times minus I will be minus 4I. Minus I times 1 will be equal to minus I, and minus I times minus I, minus times minus will be positive. I times I will be I square. We know that I square is equal to negative 1, as we have said it before. Then 4 minus 4I minus I will be equal to minus 5I. and plus I square will be equal to minus 1. And then we shall have 4 minus 5i. Positive times minus will be minus 1. Then answer will be 4 minus 1 minus 5i. 4 minus 1 will be equal to 3 minus 5i. This will be the real part, while this 5 will be imaginary part, Z1 times Z2 is equal to 3 minus 5i. This is the multiplication of a complex number.